Why is it that so many people in the United States are having trouble saving money? Are we too responsible for growing costs, incomes that have remained stagnant, and cultural shifts? In light of the fact that household savings have reached all-time lows, this is an urgent question that calls for a more in-depth investigation. In what way did we arrive at this position, and what does this imply for the future of our group? The personal savings rates of people in the United States have undergone a dramatic fall over the course of several decades. In the United States, savings, which were once a defining characteristic of the nation's financial practices, have decreased to the point where many people are living paycheck to paycheck. This change, however, is not solely the product of poor decisions made by individuals. Rather, it is connected to more fundamental economic, cultural, and societal causes. The underlying causes behind reduced savings rates necessitate not only looking at the numbers, but also evaluating the complex interaction of forces that determine the financial habits of Americans. This is necessary in order to gain a better understanding of the situation. The ever-increasing expense of living is one of the most obvious factors that contributed to the decline in the rate of savings. In recent years, the prices of necessities such as housing, healthcare, and food have skyrocketed, vastly surpassing the growth of wages for a significant number of people in the United States. In particular, the housing market has become a big burden since both rent and home prices continue to increase at an alarming rate. This has led to the housing market being a significant weight. When it comes to renters, particularly those living in urban areas, getting inexpensive housing has become practically difficult. On the other hand, for homeowners, the combination of rising property values and mortgage rates creates a burden on family finances. Is this something that leaves people with sufficient funds to save for the future, or are they simply swimming in the same water? On the other hand, the costs of healthcare are continuing to climb, and the out-of-pocket fees that many families have to pay have become a substantial financial burden for them. Insurance premiums, medical bills, and the cost of prescriptions all absorb a significant portion of a household's income, making it more difficult to put money aside for long-term savings. How are families supposed to deal with the increased financial demands when there is no obvious remedy in sight? When Americans are confronted with the burden of medical bills in the present, is it possible for them to properly save money for the future? An additional important factor is the stagnation of wages. As a result of inflation, the cost of living has increased, but salaries have not kept pace with inflation for a significant portion of the population. With the exception of when inflation is taken into account, workers have not experienced much of an increase in their wages over the course of several decades. In spite of the fact that some high-paying industries and the wealthiest individuals have experienced considerable improvements in earnings, many workers in the middle class and others with lower incomes have noticed only minor progress. It should come as no surprise that many people in the United States find it impossible to save money since pay growth has not kept pace with the rising cost of living. Is it possible that the rising income inequality is the primary reason why so many people are experiencing financial insecurity? At the same time, there has been a shift in the way that people in the United States of America think about money. Rather than putting more of an emphasis on long-term financial planning, there has been a greater emphasis placed on instant satisfaction. As a result of the proliferation of credit cards, buy now, pay later plans, and subscription-based services, the temptation to spend money right now rather than save it for the future is present practically everywhere. Is this a manifestation of a wider consumer culture, maybe one that places a higher value on rapid gratification than it does on the discipline of delaying satisfaction? How much of this may be attributed to the ease of use provided by technology, which allows for purchases to be made with only a click? Many Americans' financial activities are also significantly influenced by psychological variables, which play a vital role in the process. Concerns about one's financial situation, which are sometimes motivated by the fear of falling behind, have become a prevalent problem. A feeling of being overwhelmed can be created, which discourages people from saving money. This feeling can be caused by the constant strain to keep up with rising living costs, large student loan debt, and the worry of an unclear economic future. It is common for people to have the perception that they have little control over their financial situation, which can result in a spend-it-now mentality. Is it possible that the anxiety caused by the lack of transparency in the financial system is inhibiting people in the United States from making long-term financial decisions, such as saving for retirement or for unexpected expenses? Another significant reason that is deterring Americans from saving money is the nation's mounting debt. The presence of debt has become an ever-present fixture in the financial life of millions of individuals, whether it is debt from credit cards, debt from college loans, or debt from auto loans. The average household in the United States carries a large amount of debt, and for many of them, the stress of monthly payments leaves little opportunity for savings. The total amount of debt owed by students has topped $1.7 trillion, which places graduates under a significant and long-lasting financial burden, and it may take them years to repay the debt. Will it ever be possible for a generation of Americans who are burdened by student loans to have any prospect of saving enough money for the future? Is it possible that folks who have credit card debt are unable to achieve financial security because they are stuck in a loop of borrowing money and paying everything back? The question of how to save money has become even more complicated by the gig economy. Freelance or contract labor, which often provides less job security and fewer benefits, is increasingly relied upon by a significant number of people in the United States. Because their income streams are unpredictable, gig workers have a tough time putting money down for savings. Even if they are making quite a bit of money in the short term, there is no assurance that they will continue to do so in the future. Do you think it is possible for a workforce that is becoming more and more constituted of contract workers and freelancers to ever hope to experience the same level of financial security that was formerly offered by regular full-time employment? The inability of Americans to save money is also significantly impacted by the state of the economy. A great number of people are rendered helpless by the unpredictability of the labor market, inflation, and even recessions, despite the fact that there are many who may argue that uncertainty is a breeding ground for innovation and resilience. Is it any wonder that saving for the future looks like a gamble that is fraught with uncertainty given the quick pace of technological development, the threat that automation poses to jobs, and the impending likelihood of economic downturns? When the future appears to be uncertain, could it be more prudent to spend money now rather than face the risk of not having enough money in the future? Additional factors that contribute significantly to the low savings rate in the country include the policies of the government or the lack thereof. In many other nations, residents are provided with the peace of mind necessary to save money and make plans for the future by having access to solid social safety nets, such as paid family leave and universal healthcare coverage. Americans, on the other hand, are confronted with rising healthcare prices, the absence of paid family leave from the federal government, and a patchwork system of social programs at the state level. To what extent will the American people ever feel safe enough to save money, given that the burden of spending is now placed on individuals rather than the government? As a last point of discussion, the reduction in savings can be attributed to the low interest rates. The low returns on savings accounts make it more difficult for those who are able to save money to accumulate wealth through the use of conventional saving strategies. The interest rates on savings accounts have been close to zero for many years, which has made it difficult to motivate people to save money. As a result of these modest returns, a significant number of individuals have shifted their focus to more risky investments such as stocks or cryptocurrency, in the hope of achieving higher returns. On the other hand, these investments are not without their own unique set of dangers. It is possible that low interest rates could be a final straw that discourages people from saving for the long term in the traditional sense. As a result of all of these difficulties, a significant number of people in the United States find themselves locked in a cycle of spending without saving. A culture of quick pleasure, a growing cost of living, earnings that have remained stagnant, and crushing debt are all factors that contribute to the financial challenges that many people are experiencing. To what conclusion may we draw from this? Despite the best efforts of lawmakers, financial planners, and people, a generation of Americans is having a difficult time saving money. What possibilities does the future hold for this generation? And more significantly, what adjustments need to be made, whether on a personal level, a political level, or a societal level, in order to turn the tide and enable the people of the United States to begin saving for their future? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.